Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. I'm very excited to be filming this video. I just feel like 2025 is going to be an amazing reading year for me. it's in the air. I don't know. So I moved to China. This is my third year of my contract. So, new country, new relationship, and my kid off to college for the first time. It was just a bit overwhelming. And I ended up teaching chemistry. Long story. Last year was a little better, but I feel like I'm finally getting in the rhythm of my old reading vibes again. So I'm just feeling rejuvenated. I took this big bag of books to work with me this morning because I was going to film a video. I had even more in my backpack and just didn't get time because, work is hectic sometimes, most of the time. But anyway, I got home early enough to film it at home. So here I am. And I'm excited because I have this new idea. It's not really a new idea, but I have just been loving. I've been loving so many things on Booktube lately, but I love that Kate Howe is back regularly. I mean, she's never left, but I love that she's back regularly with her Saturday episodes. And I like the episode idea, the numbered videos. Like Brian from Bookish used to do it too. Just the casual talking about whatever bookish thing or otherwise is, on your mind. Greg from Supposedly Fun does it with his Friday Reads. I think Brian called his Saturday Hodgepodge. And who else? Kim from Middle of the Book March does her Bookish Week or something to that effect. So, it's Friday Reads, really. But I feel like Friday Reads has had its time. Booktube likes, to freshen things up periodically. If you've been around for a while, you'll get this. And I think I've been around for like 8 years now. I feel like I started maybe in December of 2017. Something like that. Anyway, maybe it was 16. I don't know. But I've decided that I don't want the day of the week attachment anymore, the obligation of the day of the week. And my word, like I want to be consistent this year with just everything. I want to be more consistent. And I don't want to commit to like doing something every single week. That's not my style. But more consistently is what I want. So I'm going to go with This Week in Books, I think. So this is episode 1 of This Week in Books. I like it. So I just have so many things to talk about. First up, let me tell you what books I have read this week and finished. 3. Oh my gosh. 3 books finished in 1 week. What? I started and finished Blue Sky Through the Window of a Moving Car by Jordan Bolton. I got this recommendation from NPR's Book Concierge, their graphic novels and comics. And this is basically, Jordan Bolton is a poet. And he thought he might want to be a screenwriter, but realized that takes a little more capital than what he has. So he's like, let me write a book. Let me write a graphic novel. And he did. And this is like exactly what I wanted to start my year with. I wish I'd gotten it for the first book of the year, but that's okay. He talks about just those little, he calls them mundane just those little mundane moments in life. And he just has written these gorgeous contemporary style poems and then illustrated them. And like the title poem, oh, it's about his grandfather's funeral, and he's in the car with his dad, as an adult, he's in the car with his dad going to the funeral, and his dad said, "I love you." And he said, "Love you too." And it was a moment. I highly recommend it. I do. Highly. These other two, not so much. Not so much. Where are they? Let's see. Okay, so this one, Shakespeare's Sisters, 4 Women Who Wrote the Renaissance by Rami Targoff. So these are more or less during the time period of Shakespeare, and the introduction is interesting. Queen Elizabeth, and then she kind of narrates these women's lives, and it's good. It's fine. It's kind of, I struggle with what I would rate it. I don't really bother rating books, but I would say this is not really a 4-star. But I personally think 3 stars for me, that's a bad rating, and I wouldn't give it a bad rating. So it'd probably be a 3.5, but I'd round it up to 4 publicly. I haven't quite decided. But it's one of those where there's not that much information about any of these women. But she does a good job of kind of couching their lives, like what it's like to live back then through the eyes of these women. So it's trying to spotlight female writers during the time, and it does that, but it also talks about life back then for more of the upper class or the upper middle class. I mean, I don't know that there's a middle class back then, but it kind of sounds like there was, to some extent anyway. So yeah, I think if you are interested in this time period, this is a really good addition to your library or your body of knowledge, definitely. So I probably will give it a 4-star. It was well written, just, it was just kind of average, I guess, is what I'm saying. And then River East, River West by Aubrey Lescure. So if you happen to watch my vlog where I began and ended this book, I began the vlog saying that I was considering DNFing the book. And then it kind of hooked me in. So there are 3 main protagonists in this book. There is the daughter, who is, her mother is American, and her father is Chinese of unknown determination. I don't even know if the mother knows who the father was. The daughter definitely doesn't know who her father is. And then we have a new stepfather. So the story is told in modern times, 2007, and then flashbacks to when the stepfather was younger, I think 1985. So like mid-30s at that time. He's older now. So her mother has put her in a Chinese public school her whole life, but now she's going to an international private school, English only. And yeah, so the main characters are all like not exactly likable. I mean, they're not bad, but they're the type of characters that make a lot of mistakes that they could have avoided if they'd tried a little harder. And thematically, she's talking about kind of the opposite from the immigration stories that we normally hear. So instead of immigrants that have moved to the U.S., we have immigrants that have moved to China from the US, and also kind of colonialism mixed in with that. So thematically, it's interesting, but that's not really the thing that drives this one. It's not the characters or the theme, it's the story. So she does kind of pull you in. You want to know what is going to happen. But I don't really like contemporary stories with all the people's problems, you know. It's not my thing. And there is a lot of teenage angsty behavior and problematic teenage behavior with drugs and whatnot. And it's not my vibe. It's not my vibe. And I got to the end and it was just a trauma porn train wreck at the end. And I was like, oh, I should have DNF'd it at the beginning. And again, I totally get that this has a really high rating and that people love it. And it's well written and a good book. I guess I just didn't like that, you know, she drove the theme and the narrative through all of these problems. I don't like that. It was boring to me and cringy. So yeah, unpopular opinion, but wasn't my kind of book. So those are the 3 I read, and I started one more, the Codebreaker, Jennifer Doudna, Gene Editing, and the Future of the Human Race by Walter Isaacson. So he is a very popular biography writer, and I just love medical science. And so this is focusing on CRISPR and mapping the genomes. So very excited. I barely started it, so I won't ramble about that one. If you watch my blog again, the recent one, I was like all like, oh, I'm gonna finish my audiobook too, just 4 hours a day. I haven't read 4 minutes since I said that, but I'm gonna get back into it and we'll talk about that soon. So let's talk about it now. Again, we're gonna talk about booktubers inspiring me. So I cannot remember who I was watching that brought this up, but Literary Diversions, apparently she does this every year for maybe the last 3 years, but she puts out this bingo card called the Bingo Board from Hell. So this is the Bingo Board from Hell 2025. And you're able to add in your own goals, but her video is so fun. I'll try to link all these people that I'm talking about. But it's like challenge goals. So these aren't like resolutions or plans. These are legitimate, like lofty challenge goals and trying to get a bingo. And it's kind of hard. So I followed some of hers and added some of my own. And I'm really kind of excited about this challenge to myself. It's going to be so fun. And then paired with it over here, this lovely rainbow. So I also enjoy Katie Lumsden from, I think it's Books and Things. She does these mega checklist spreadsheets. And if you are a checklist nerd, as I am and she is, it's just very satisfying watching her check them off. And she does it quarterly. And then, you know, the big reveal at the end. So this is a spin off of her mega spreadsheet check boxes. So I'm just going to have the satisfaction of checking boxes all year long. So I have kind of made my own version paired with this bingo. So let me tell you how it's working here. So, and also let me say, I made these like kind of challenging, and then I got to the end. This is so funny to me. I got to the end and counted it all up, and it was like going to be 170 check boxes. And we all know 170 is not a satisfying number. So I was like, let me make it 175. So I like added 5 more to one of the boxes. And then I was like, but 175 isn't going to make a really nice grid, because Katie doesn't mind having hers like different levels, because it's what she needs, you know. But I wanted the the satisfaction of having a tidy rectangle square thing, you know. So I added 25 more boxes, 30 boxes. So some of these categories are really challenging, but it's just fun. Gamifying my reading life. So let's go through them, shall we? We have 25 buddy reads, so that's the red at the top, and 30 summer 2025 books. So when I go home in the summer to the U.S., I buy books. As I travel through the States, I buy books to bring back with me, because bookstores in English are not readily accessible here in China. I can get books, but I just choose not to work that hard. So it's become a fun habit to buy books when I'm traveling. And when I go home in the summer, like last summer, I brought back 50 books with me. So depending on how you look at this, like I'm planning to read at least 30 of the books I bring back with me this summer before the end of 2025. So that also means I get challenged myself to buy at least 30, right? Fun times. Then we have the U.S. presidents. So over here, challenging myself to read 5 U.S. presidential biographies this year. I am starting that challenge. I've actually started it's Washington Alive by Ron Chernow, but I didn't make any progress this week, so we're not talking about that. And then 60 nonfiction books. So I did check this one, and I read 48 nonfiction last year, which my percentage was 45% of my reading was nonfiction. And so originally I thought 50% nonfiction, that would be the most ever. That would be cool. So that was my idea. I'd put 50 blocks, but now it's 60. So maybe I'll read 120 books this year. And then LGBTQ plus, that's the blue here. That shouldn't be too hard. The poetry book had some really nice representation in it, so I'll already get that check. 15 library books. Oh, I forgot. I knew there was something else. So my school library has some good books. So they're still in the bag. I'll do a library haul after this, and then talk about the thing I forgot. But I want to read 15 books from my school library. Those are the purple. And then finish 5 series. That's the dark purple here. And that one's funny. Like, I don't even know what series I've got going. I mean, I'm reading Robin Hobb this year and Anne of Green Gables. And I think Heidi and I will finish Shard Lake this year. We probably will, now that I need to check a box. We'll see what happens there. 30 audiobooks. So I need to, you know, get in a rhythm of audiobooks. Like when I have time at work while I'm doing data entry or whatever, I just sometimes forget. I just get in the zone of working and forget that I could actually be listening to books. We'll see, we'll see. And then Clear the Summer 2022. So that was the first year I moved to China, and I brought 50 books then as well. And I have 15 of those left. So I would like to finish those 15 this year. So that's my challenge grid, and we'll see by the end of the year. I'll probably check in with this monthly when I do my TBR talk. But yeah, that's so cute, right? Oh my gosh. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with myself. So, library haul. So, this book, my school library has put little cards on the tables in the cafeteria. And the one that Brent and I were sitting at had this book, and I've been wanting to read that one. I'm like, oh my gosh, the library has it. Wow. So, The Missing Thread, A Woman's History of the Ancient World by Daisy Dunn. This is going to be spectacular. And then right next to that one on the shelf was Goodnight Stories for Rebel Girls by Elena Favilli and Francesca Cavallo. This one looks like something like that I would have bought and donated. I think I did a sciencey one, but yeah, look at fun times. So, I mean, I checked and I have not read this one, so I'm going to enjoy that. And then as I was going to find the Missing Thread book, I saw this one face out like on display, and and I don't know why. The Cartoon Introduction to Economics, Volume 2, Macroeconomics by Grady Klein and Yoram Bauman, PhD. So I checked, they don't have the first one, which is Microeconomics, but you don't have to read one before the other. So, yeah, I'll let you know if it's any good. But, so I got those for myself, and then I thought I would share, I teach, I hope I don't have the glare. The sun, is on the building. Anyway, how about this? Anyway, whatever. Sorry. I teach preschool on Fridays, a pre-K discovery class. So let me just introduce myself. It's January. Hi, I'm Doris. I'm a teacher. I taught, let's just start at the beginning, shall we? I got a degree in, this is another thing I'm loving about Booktube right now. I used to like short videos, and tried to keep mine in like the 8 to 15 minute range. But now that I'm having like some desk work time, I've realized why people like longer ones now and again. It's because like these sit down talk videos are great, like podcast videos. So yeah, anyway, it's gonna be a longer one because this is what I'm into. I like change. Change is good. Anyway, I got a degree in science education, biology / earth science, and went to Guatemala for a year and taught 3rd grade there. And that's where I met my boyfriend 30 years ago. But he wasn't my boyfriend then. And then I blah, 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 blah. But I ended up teaching middle school life science for several years, and along with other things, like 5 or 6 years. And then I went to Honduras and taught 4th and 6th grade math and 12th grade U.S. government. That was the year of the hanging chad. If you know, you know. Anyway, but I then moved to Tennessee and ended up being hired to teach ELL, which is English Language Learning, or ESL in the States, English as a Second Language, which is working with students who are not native English speakers and need support in the classroom. I did that for 21 years. And the school system actually paid for me to get my master's in that field, which was lovely. So when I moved here to China, I was hired as an ELL teacher. And, but since I have a science background, anytime we lose a teacher for various reasons, they call on me. So my first year here, I ended up teaching 6th and 7th grade chemistry, which was quite a learning curve. And then last year, when we lost a teacher, I ended up teaching 1st grade math and science, which was also a learning curve. So this year, I'm doing pretty good. Like, I've taught pre-K discovery every year, but it's just like 30 minutes once a week, fun times. And also, we did lose a teacher, but they're only making me teach one section of 8th grade chemistry, which is just 3 classes a week. So it's okay. Anyway, that's me. But so discovery, we've gotten into reading, and last week we read Hey Little Ant by Philip and Hannah Hoose and illustrated by Debbie Tilley. And this book is delightful. It's all about empathy. Kind of Horton Hears a Who-esque, except less fantasy, but still fantastic, you know, if you know what I mean. But I was reading this book, and it's just absolutely delightful. But the kids were mesmerized. It's great for voices because it's only two characters, the boy and the ant. So you can do voices really well. But we got to this page, and a little boy in the back was like, "What the hell?" I mean, these are 4-year-olds. And his dad is one of my dear friends, and he is just the most proper British gentleman. He would never say that. It was so American. And when I told him, he's like, "Oh, he's hanging out with kids in his class." Anyway, today I read Stuck by Oliver Jeffers, and they loved this one too. And so it's all about a little boy who his kite got stuck in a tree. This one's kind of like if you give a mouse a cookie kind of idea. Or actually, the pre-K teacher, as I was reading it, he's like, that's like the opposite of the old lady who swallowed a fly. And it is. But, you know, he throws his shoe to try to get it down. And then he, like, throws his cat. And it just kind of gets ridiculous until we get to this page. And then this little girl goes, "Oh, my Jesus." They're so funny. But anyway, after I read the book, I had this worksheet with a tree on it in the first line of the story, which is, it all began when Floyd got his kite stuck in a tree. Except instead of Floyd, I left a line so they could write their own name. And then I had all these things they could cut out and choose what they wanted to throw in their tree. So it turned out really cute. So I will leave a little clip, a video clip of that at the end of this if you want to watch. And then for next week, I have Leaf Men by Lois Ehlert. And for this one, we're going to go on a nature hike and collect leaves and make our own leaf men, or maybe a leaf bird, or, you know, a leaf cow or whatever. But yeah, so that is my library haul, and I think I'm done, except for I forgot to bring in my little passport. So the school library has this just adorable little booklet that the kids can fill out all year, kind of a passport idea of the books that they've read from the library, and they can choose prizes. And so they let me have one. They said that I couldn't get prizes at the end, but I could buy my own. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to show you the little booklet just at the end of this, and yeah, and add the little clip of the kids with the stuck in a tree worksheet. So yeah, episode 1. Yay! Chat later. Bye-bye. Here it is. So cute, right? So, I think on these pages, I'm going to list the books that I read from the library on the white pages. And then I donate some books to the library as well. So I think on these yellow pages, I'm going to write the books I've donated. And so I think I have this and this. So I think at the end of the year, I'll draw my favorite 2 books I've donated, and then my favorite 2 books I've read from the library. So yeah. And here, oh, so cute. This sea dragon is our school mascot, and then ducks are the library mascot. So yay. Okay, that's it, except if you want to watch the little kid tree stuck thing, then that's really it. Okay, bye-bye. What do you want stuck in your tree?
Donut, cricket, snake, ice cream, alligator, shark, tiger, and car.
Hey, let me see yours.
With a clownfish.
Oh, that's so cool.
And